Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus. As always, this song comes to you as a request from one of my viewers, so if you want to be that person to request something, just leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to add it to my list. So to my knowledge, I've never heard anything from Bauhaus. What I do know is that this song is huge, and so it's amazing that I've never heard it. And the reason I know it's huge is because when I looked it up on YouTube, the video I picked had like 23 million views or something like that, which is a lot. Like a lot of the bands I do on this channel, their most popular songs don't have nearly half as much as that, right? So it's a huge song as far as I can tell. So really excited to get into it. Not really sure what to expect. Just hoping for an enjoyable listen, a good song here. So 1979. So this is a bit of an older one. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, this is Bauhaus. I hope I'm saying that right. Bauhaus. Bela Lugosi's Dead. Wasn't Bela Lugosi like an actor? I think he played like Dracula or something. I have no idea. I guess we'll jump into it and hopefully we'll get some context as we look through the lyrics or something. So anyway, let's get into it. Here we go. Kind of interesting. When I clicked on this, it did say original version. I like that. So I'm wondering if that's what that crackling I'm hearing is like it's being played on a record or something. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Really weird to start off. I like that.
White on white, translucent black capes, back on the rack. Bela Lugosi's dead, the bats have left the bell tower. The victims have been bled, red velvet lines, the black box. Bela Lugosi's dead. Bela Lugosi's dead. I'm dead. undead, undead, undead. Undead, undead, undead. Undead.
I like that because it was weird and kind of eclectic. If I had one critique, though, it felt like it was building up to something, and just it never really hit you with the payoff. I feel like it constantly felt like you were in this stage of just like building up to something interesting or intense. At least, I mean, it was interesting, but building up to something intense, and it just never paid off. I would have loved for that last maybe minute or two to just be them like rocking out, really going all out, but I guess that's not necessarily what the song was intended for. That's just kind of my preference as someone who really likes, rock and metal. I think it would have been a really cool payoff. But still, I really enjoyed the song. I thought it was really interesting. With just all the different things they were doing instrumentally, like it was really cool. So let's break it down piece by piece like we always do. Let's of course start with those lyrics. So a little bit of information here. It does say that this is often considered to be the first gothic rock single. Bela Lugosi's Dead refers to the Hungarian-American actor Bela Lugosi. Okay, you got it right. Famous for his role as Dracula. Boom, I nailed it. In the 1931, Hollywood adaptation of the Bram Stoker novel. Lugosi died in 1956, 23 years before the song was released. And there's a picture of him. Looks like that's for the information that we got here. Cool. So let's take a look at the lyrics. So, white on white, translucent black capes back on the rack. Bela Lugosi's dead. The bats have left the bell tower. The victims have been bled. Red velvet lines the black box. So it's kind of interesting. I as I was listening to the lyrics, I'm like, this song is about a vampire, right? And so it's like, okay, it makes sense. Bela Lugosi played Dracula. But I just think it's interesting that, they could have said maybe Dracula's dead, right? But instead of calling it by the vampire name, they decided to call it by the actor's name, which I thought was kind of interesting. Okay, apparently having bats in one's bell tower, also called a belfry, is an expression meaning that someone is batty/batshit crazy. The erratic noise in Bela Lugosi's Dead has ceased forever upon his death. Interesting. These are all just, annotations from random people, but so it apparently did not enter the charts upon its release. I'm not going to read all that. It's a lot. I just kind of want a little bit more insight into the song, but people are going all out in this one. I'll interpret it for myself. I'll stop clicking on these things. So Bela Lugosi's dead. Bela Lugosi's dead. Undead, undead, undead. So again, like a vampire is like an undead, right? So again, I just think it's interesting that instead of saying like Dracula's dead, right? Undead, it's just like Bela Lugosi, the actor. So the virginal brides file past his tomb, strewn with time's dead flowers, bereft in deathly bloom, alone in the darkened room, the count. Bela Lugosi's dead. Bela Lugosi's dead. Undead, undead, undead. Oh, Bela, Bela's undead. Apparently, the song is an homage to Bela Lugosi. The iconic single cover is not from a movie featuring Bela. It is still of D.W. Griffith's The Sorrows of Satan. Okay. Ooh. So, oh, Bela, Bela's undead. Oh, Bela, Bela's undead. Undead. So, yeah, I guess it's maybe I don't know too much about that whole film or anything, but maybe Bela Lugosi was the most iconic portrayal of Dracula at the time. So again, maybe instead of saying like Dracula's dead, really to pay homage to Bela Lugosi was, Bela Lugosi's dead. Bela Lugosi is Dracula, I guess, for these artists. So I'm guessing that's where they were kind of going, what they were going for here. So song came out in 1979, and again is about like vampires and shit. I can see why this was maybe considered one of the first like gothic rock songs, right? Because it is sort of what I picture of like that sort of goth culture, centering around like vampires and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know too much. I never went through that phase myself. So anyway, I think lyrically it was interesting. It was kind of cool. I like vampires. It's neat. It's interesting. It's a fun topic. And I think it's written really well. Really conjures up a lot of cool imagery. So I give it 2 thumbs up lyrically. Why not? As far as the instrumentation goes, there was a lot going on here, but I liked a lot of it. So the drums were pretty consistent throughout. but it really just provided like a nice beat, nice rhythm for the song. I think a big standout for the song for me was the bass. Actually, I think the rhythm that the bass provided was really consistent, and it was one of those consistent things in spite of all the other chaos going around. So the bass was really nice, and they did a lot with the bass, and it was really deep and rich, and sort of had this foreboding tone to it, which I think really worked with this song. And then the guitar was really good. I did actually really like the chaos at the beginning of the song, because then when like the guitar sort of falls in line with the bass, it makes for just a really interesting transition. So that was really cool. And then there were just like a few, like I think they used drums and guitar and whatever else to make these, but there were like a couple of really cool sound effects throughout. Like there was one point where it really, to me, sounded like between the drums and the guitar, like almost like a pump, right? And so I'm thinking like, oh, like a blood pump or something. Like really helped conjure up some of that imagery. There was another moment when that happened somewhere in the song. I don't remember what it conjured up in my mind, but I was like, oh, that reminds me of this thing. But I'm blanking on what that was in the moment. But yeah, there's really a lot happening instrumentally. It's very chaotic in some parts. But I think it really works because as you're transitioning from sort of chaos to order, it really makes for a really rewarding experience. So, and then the vocals were really nice as well. Really, I think, again, provided that sort of sense of a sort of weirdness and dread. And so I think instrumentally and vocally, for me, 2 thumbs up on this one for sure. As far as replay value goes, this is a bit of a longer song and not something that I would typically listen to. Like I said, not really ever into this kind of music, I guess, and this is why it's taking me so long to listen to a song that's like 40 years old or whatever. But yeah, I think it works for me. Again, I wish we would have had that little bit of payoff at the end. I wish they would have really just like rocked out at the end. I don't know. That's just again coming from the kind of music I listen to and sort of my preferences. That's what I would have hoped for. But I think what we got is still pretty stellar. So overall, I think it has a pretty high replay value for me. I give it a thumb up. Overall, a very solid request, a very great song. And I can see again why it has like 23 million views on YouTube or whatever. 23 million and one now. So anyway, I thought it was a great song. So thank you so much for the request. As always, if you want to be that person to request something, just put it in the comments. I'll be sure to add it to my list. If you enjoyed the music as much as I did, of course, go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can. And if you want to support me, just all the normal stuff you do on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment. All right, I guess that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.